Welcome back. Now, it's been weeks since the Supreme Court delivered its judgment on the Cross River North Senatorial District by-election, but the dust is yet to settle between the two candidates laying claim to the seat. Senator Stephen Ode and Jarigbe Agom Jarigbe, both of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), have been engaged in a series of legal battles since the by-election was conducted in December last year. The PDP was declared winner of the election, but there have been issues over who the authentic candidate of the party is, with both Ode and Jarigbe claiming they won the party primary. The confusion deepened after a federal high court in Abuja declared Jarigbe as the authentic PDP candidate, a decision which was upheld by a division of the Court of Appeal Abuja, while another high court in Calabar declared Ode as a valid candidate. Now, on February the 25th, the Supreme Court, in a split decision of 4-3, threw out the appeal filed by Stephen Ode, challenging the judgment of the Court of Appeal Abuja and ruling in favor of Jarigbe. In the majority judgment, the Apex Court maintained that Ode's appeal lacked merit and that processes in the appeal were not properly served. However, the minority verdict found merit in the appeal and held that it deserved to succeed. But then, the majority judgment, of course, will definitely carry the day. INEC has since issued Jarigbe with a certificate of return, and what is expected to have followed is for the Senate President to swear him in as the senator representing Cross River North Senatorial District. But that has not happened, and Stephen Ode still continues to occupy the seat in the National Assembly. The Senate President has not said anything about the issue, and everyone is waiting to hear from him over the delay in swearing in Jarigbe despite the Supreme Court's ruling. Now, the whole thing is simply confusing at the moment, but, well, everyone is trying to make sense of it. But I'm now being joined on the program by Alphonsus Ogar Eba, who is the Director General Due Process and Prize Intelligence Bureau of Cross River State, to shed more light on this seemingly controversial issue. Thank you very much, Mr. Ogar, for joining us on the program. It's quite surprising that this is taking, this whole thing would still be protracted to this point, even after the Supreme Court, even after the case had actually gone to the Supreme Court on 2 occasions, and the Supreme Court had made a pronouncement on this issue. What exactly is the crux of the matter here?
Good morning. My pleasure to be here. I think that the decision from the Supreme Court was clear enough. It is not every matter that gets to the Supreme Court that comes back that can be enforced. That is what this has turned out to be. That was not a judgment. You can just call it a judgment in a layman's view.
Okay, it was a ruling anyway.
It was a ruling on the issue of the preliminary objection. The case was not hard on its merit. Therefore, the doctrine of infallibility and finality, which talked about a long time ago.
What you're saying in essence is that Senator Stephen Ode can still go to the Supreme Court.
That is what it means. That is what it means.
Because the case not until he gets to the Supreme Court, perhaps through another angle now, that there's just no way Honorable Jarigbe can be sworn in as a senator.
At all. In law, he can never be a senator, and he will never be in law. A vacancy was created by the demise of Senator Rose Oko, and the party thought it wise that because the woman was from Yala local government, it was only wise for Yala to have opportunity of completing this tenure. The party agreed. Even when we heard the rumor that he was going to put himself in the race, I went personal to him because he's our friend. And I told him one good turn deserves another. This is just an opportunity for our dear friend to complete this tenure. He told me his only interest was an opportunity to do a 3rd term, but he fears that the system was not going to allow him be. And I said, no, you're already supporting me to become state chairman of PDP. Pray that I emerge, and I will sit down with the powers that be to say, no, we had an understanding. You will do your 3rd term in 2023. but we need to play the politics to carry everybody along. He gave me every assurances that if he hears from the governor and other stakeholders, he was going to do that. I did my best to see that that commitment came out. But we discovered midway into this whole thing that somebody somewhere was stoking the fire. Honorable Jarigbe was no longer the man that was controlling his decision. He was no longer in control of his action.
Who then was stoking the fire?
I have always said it on various programs that the governor of River State, His Excellency, Governor Wike, is the one that has been stoking the fire in Cross River State. He has come at various times on air to say he has friends in Cross River State.
And some people have said
he wants to protect.
The governor himself, the governor of Cross River State himself, is also the one stoking the fire from your own side.
Unless they tell us how the governor is stoking the fire, I would not understand. Because this is a man that was rejected by the people in 2019. The SSA to the governor came out to run that election. The governor told him, you will not run this election. Honorable Jarigbe will go back and complete his tenure. The governor has been so nice to him.
No, I'm actually just surprised that you would accuse the governor of River State. I mean, he's the governor of River State.
I speak with fact. I'm a lawyer, and I can say it. I will send you a video where the governor of River State came on air and told the whole world that he has friends in Cross River State and he was going to stand by them, that the governor is not his friend, that they just met in government.
What do you think would be the interest of the governor of of River State now in this issue?
We all have heard that he wants to make one of his friends governor of Cross River State in 2023, even against the zoning formula of his state. And that man is a sitting senator from the Central. We have heard that. But Cross Riverians have said, you cannot do it, and you will not do it. You will meet us in the field. And he will never, and he cannot do it. And I challenge him, he will not be able to do it. So, thank God, the court has just affirmed me as the state chairman from the Court of Appeal. I pray I emerge, and then we will face ourselves in the field. So, he has been warned to stay in River State and allow Governor Yade stay in Cross River State and run the affairs of the party. And he has been warned to stop using the name of the governor of Cross River State and lampooning everywhere that he wants to move to APC, thinking that by demarketing him, that will curry any favor from the NWC for him. This is also an opportunity for me to tell him that Cross River State is an autonomous state and a sovereign one in that matter, and Governor Wike must confine himself to the wahala in his state and keep away from Cross River State.
Well, it will be interesting to see how Governor Wike would respond to that, because
And if he responds, I'm also going to have a right of reply to respond again. I am prepared, and I pray you give us this opportunity.
So essentially you are saying Senator Ode is still going to file another process before the Supreme Court?
He will take every legal approach that can protect his seat. He has an option of going to the Supreme Court. He has an option of going to the lower court to say, no, I'm a sitting senator. There is no order of court.
The reason I'm asking you this is that, look, there's a subsisting ruling from the Court of Appeal, which, of course, Honorable Jarigbe has been relying on. That has not been set aside. The pronouncement of the Court of Appeal has not been set aside. And it's on the basis of that pronouncement that INEC actually issued him a certificate of return.
Read section 75 of the Electoral Act that talks about certificate of return. And you will see where INEC missed the point. And I have called on the respected chairman of INEC to come out clean. INEC chairman should come out and explain to the world why he had to make that kind of costly mistake that has put us in this confusion, because Honorable Jarigbe would not have been deceiving himself and the public today, saying that INEC obeyed any order, because when you obey an illegal thing that does not draw strength from the provision of the law, it cannot be enforced.
All right.
At the time that judgment came out on the 17th of December, Senator Ode had already been sworn in on the 16th. And so on the 18th, when INEC was issuing a certificate of return, they ought to have known that the only place that can nullify that certificate of return is the Election Petition Tribunal. And that is where Senator Ode is now. The matter is lis pendis.
All right.
In any case,
Alphonsus,
the Electoral Act under Section 141, the Constitution under Section 285(13), has come to destroy the mischief in Amechi versus PDP, which INEC still use as a principle to do all these illegalities
Alphonsus
today.
Ogar Eba,
This mischief is to the fact that if you have not participated in all the process of election, you cannot be declared a winner. So where will INEC get power in any court to declare him?
I'm afraid we'll have, that's how much time we've got.
Oh, no, the time is too short. Why not allow us to give people the opportunity to
Unfortunately, the time is short, but we're still going to speak more on this issue. Perhaps.
Please, I am ready. Wake me at any hour of the night. I am ready. Let the world know.
Don't worry.
And I call on the international community to put their searchlight on
I'll
INEC and the judicial system.
I'll come back to you next week.
But
so
I
that we can
respect the
speak
Senate
more
President
on
and his
this
leadership for standing to the truth.
Alphonsus Ogar Eba, who is the Director General of Cross River State now, Cross River State that's Director General actually of the Due Process and Price Intelligence Bureau Cross River State. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
State Chairman of PDP by the grace of God.
All right. See you next time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll take a short break now. I'll be right back.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts, and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
All right, welcome back. Now, let's go over again to Abuja and join another lawyer this time to help us make sense of this controversy in Cross River State over the senatorial seat of Cross River North Senatorial District, actually. I'm now being joined on the program by First Baba Issa, who is a legal practitioner and also a member of the MBA Committee on, is it on public litigation now?
Yes, on public litigation.
Exactly. So thank you very much for joining us on the program. Please just help us to make.
Thank you very much, Deji. Thank you.
Yes, help us to make some sense of this. What's going on? How come Honorable Jerigbe, even after securing that court, the Supreme Court judgment, so to speak, has still not been sworn in as a senator?
Well, I don't know. There are many ways to explain that. Jerigbe himself has come out to say that the process, the legal process or procedure, or the process of notifying the National Assembly of the Supreme Court judgment as of 3 days ago was not yet carried out, because according to him, in a post he made on Facebook, that they were actually waiting for the judgment of Honorable Justice Weze, who gave Sentus Weze, who gave the majority judgment. So they were waiting for that and waiting for a certified true copy to be communicated to the National Assembly. So all of that had not been done as of the last time we talked about it.
The reason
and now,
go on.
Now that it has been done, because it has been done, the answer to that question is I don't know. It's politics. It's nothing strange to Nigerians that institutions at times delay in carrying out or obeying court orders, and at times they don't even carry out those orders at all. So I don't know that. I don't know why it has not been sworn in. Maybe it's a matter of protocols, it's a matter of bureaucracy, maybe it's a matter of escapism, or it's a matter of a deliberate disobedience of the judgment of the Supreme Court. I don't know that, but in the coming days, the situation will be made clearer.
Now, earlier I spoke with another lawyer also from Cross River State, who is, of course, the Director General of the Bureau of Due Process there, and he made it clear that, well, the reason why the Senate actually hasn't done this is because the legal process, so to speak, has not been exhausted completely, that Senator Stephen Ode would still be appealing, that what the Supreme Court did was not final, that there was still an opportunity for him to appeal on to file an appeal on the case.
Well, I don't know what he means by that, but I believe strongly that one of the ingredients of being wise is to have the courage that you don't know what you don't know, to say I don't know this thing. You just ask me now and I say I don't know what's happening. In the coming days it will become clearer. My learned friend, Alphonsus Ogar Eba, cannot claim to know exactly why the Senate has not sworn in Jarigbe, because he doesn't work. He does not work in the Senate. He's not the clerk of National Assembly. He's not a senator. Has the Senate communicated an official position on why they have not sworn in Jarigbe? The answer is no, Deji. So where is Alphonsus Ogar Eba, my learned friend, getting that conclusion that why the Senate has not sworn in Jarigbe is because of the legal processes has not been exhausted? I don't think that's a position. Unless the Senate makes that the position, officially communicated to the general public, this is a position. But for now, we don't know.
Now
the Senate has
your lawyer, help us to make sense of this. When the Supreme Court dismissed that case, saying that the processes were actually not served properly on on Jarigbe and the other individual now, does it mean, does it leave a room now, so to speak, for Senator Ode to still come to the Supreme Court with probably, I don't know how to put this now. So
yeah, I understand what you mean.
Same matter now, but this time probably not looking at
I understand what you mean. Yeah, I understand what you mean. Ordinarily, the answer to that question should have been yes. The appeal was not heard on the merit. The appeal was not dismissed. The appeal was struck out. So ordinarily, whenever a process of court is struck out, you can release. You can release. You can file properly and do the proper thing. But this is no longer possible in this case because there is a statutory provision that says that pre-election matters must must end within a particular number of days. So the number of days for this pre-election matter to end from the High Court to the Supreme Court has since elapsed. That means, yes, they could have been able to release, but can they release? No, because they are out of time to release. So in the circumstances, that means the striking out order has the same force as if the appeal has been heard and dismissed on the merit. Because since they cannot release, that means that the judgment they appealed against stands and remains valid. That is the position of the law.
The whole thing is just confusing, and we saw quite a number of court cases filed.
No, I think it's very clear forward. I think it's very clear forward. The point is that you're talking to me as a lawyer,
exactly.
Right, Deji? Alphonsus Ogar Eba is a lawyer too. I respect him for that, but he's a politician. I'm not a politician. Yet, maybe tomorrow I'll be a politician. That doesn't mean that I don't have biases. I do have my biases, right? Fine. And but the fact is this: it's a pretty straightforward matter, right? Now the question is, was there a judgment that was appealed? It's common sense, Nadeji. I don't want to even talk legal jargons. Let's talk this law as if we're talking to market women or some sexless boys. I will understand, right? So the question is, who went to Court of Appeal? Who went to Supreme Court? Steve, they went to Supreme Court. Why did you go to Supreme Court? You went to Supreme Court because you wanted a particular judgment that emanated from the City High Court to be set aside. No, be so. That is the point. So you went to Supreme Court. Your appeal failed. So the question in layman language now is, okay, what thing will happen as your appeal has failed? That means that the judgment you appealed against remains, is valid, is subsisting, because you failed in your attempt to set it aside. So for God's sake, what is confusing anybody here? And INEC has even obeyed that judgment by issuing a certificate of return to Jarigbe Agom Jarigbe. So when people say they are confused, I keep asking myself, is it that people are deliberately confused, or they want to enjoy the confusion, or what's really confusing them here? So now, if Dr. Stephen Ode is saying that the judgment of the decision of the Supreme Court does not affect him, he's still a senator, it doesn't even make sense. Why did you go? Why did you go to the Supreme Court in the first place, Deji? You went to the Supreme Court because by your own admission, you accepted that this judgment affects me. This judgment touches on my rights and my interests. That is why I'm going to the Supreme Court. What did you ask the Supreme Court to do for you? You asked the Supreme Court that, look, this judgment is wrong. Set it aside. The Supreme Court said, look, we are not even going to listen to you, self. whether the judgment is wrong or right. We are saying that you have not even come before us properly. That means that you don't have any appeal before us. What does that translate into, DG? It translates to the fact that the judgment of the lower court stands, subside, is valid, which INEC have even obeyed. So, who is the senator-elect? Jarigbe, Agom Jarigbe. The senator-elect. Do we even have a senator-in-law? We want to talk about that one. There's no senator-in-law right now. We don't have a senator representing Cross River State North. We just have a senator-elect awaiting swearing in. That's the position. But you know, politicians can choose to be, to muddle the waters and choose to be confused. Well, they can lock themselves out with all due respect.
Well, it's actually surprising that the Senate has just refused to act on it. But we'll wait and see what happens. The Senate, of course, has not made issued any statement on the issue yet. But this is not the kind of thing we expect to see at this time under this Senate. I mean, if we saw it in the past Senate, you don't expect that you'll be seeing that kind of thing in this Senate. And if the Senate is refusing, then it must give a very cogent reason. And I don't think it makes any sense at all for the Senate to act against the decision of the Supreme Court.
Now, let me even comment on what you say Alphonsus Ogar said. Now, Alphonsus Ogar said that other options, legal options, yet to be exhausted, right? That's what you told me, right? Now, let's assume for a minute that he's even right, because the courts are always there. So now, is he saying that the judgment we already have now should be kept at abeyance until a future judgment is obtained? It doesn't work like that anywhere in the world. So, assuming that this judgment is even wrong, that is even faulty, and you have a hope to set the judgment aside, then what do you do in a civilized society? Until you set the judgment aside, even if judgment is a bad judgment, a bad judgment remains the law. It remains the judgment of the court and must be executed until a better judgment in courts is obtained. So it doesn't even make sense. You are saying, oh, okay, we know this judgment touches on our interests. We know the judgment says you should issue Jarigbe certificate of returns. We know that he has been issued certificate. But wait, don't swear in, because we are seeing in the future that it's like we are going to get one judgment that is going to prove that we are the winners. Wow! Like, are you kidding me? So go get the judgment. Is it not swearing in? You can swear, get the judgment. If it become December or come tomorrow, we will still swear you in again.
That's quite
That's how it works. Yes, that's it. So that's why I say when people say they're confused, I say, confused, care. So yes, you have good options. Go and exhaust them. It's your right. Get your lawyers. Go to the tribunal. Go to anywhere you want to go. You can even ask the Supreme Court to review or overturn themselves. But, brother, until you do that, this judgment, even if you think it's a bad judgment, it is the law. This is elementary now. They taught us this even in year one in university, not even law school. So any law student knows that it's a bad judgment. You say it's a bad judgment. Okay, let me agree, it's a bad judgment. But has it been set aside? The answer is no. It should be executed. It should be followed. Otherwise, we are going to move from democracy to anarchy. That's how it is. So the citizens don't have the right. Institutions don't have the right to pick and choose which judgment to obey and say this one is bad, this one is good, this one is bad, this one is good, until it is set aside by a court of competent jurisdiction, sir.
I can't but agree with you. First, Babaisa, thank you very much for joining us on the program, and thank you for your insights.
Thank you very much.
That's how much we can take on the program this week. We thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.